We are winding down your Saturn ruled issue venerated Saturn's day with the master keys in hand, ready to head into some Sunday R&R with Oshun's honey dripping all out the white cloth. Let's unpack it. Attention, star seeds. Attention, light workers. Attention, root workers. Attention, conjure doctors. Attention, nature-based faith practitioners. Attention, spiritualists. Attention, diviners. Attention, prophets. Attention, the spiritually eclectic. Attention for those seeking the road less traveled. This is time-sensitive cosmic information, so you might want to catch this. This is time-sensitive cosmic information that you can use in your prayers, manifestations, and other spirit works. Beam up now via this video or the audio link in this video's description box to get this on the fly esoteric wisdom. Beaming up now. Ashe emojibatu Olodumare Bobo Egungun Ara Orun Bobo Orisha for another day to bask in the goodness of Onile's sacred earth. Every day given is very special, and here are a few details, cosmic details, pertaining to how. I'm iiiYansaje Muse, and this is your early rising or your evening settling mystic forecast. And Kale if you are catching this in the evening time, and Kadral if you're catching this in the early morning's rise. As always, I am iiiYansaje Muse, the Black Madonna of the airwaves, bringing you the music, the mystics, and the mojo on 222.9 The Mothership, internet radio for the road less traveled. And we are winding down your Saturn ruled issue venerated Saturn day, September 13th, 2025, with the day vibrating on a 22-4. And that is some mastery energy all in the quasars. So make sure you are making masterful choices so issue can give you the masterful keys. It is the 13th Saturn day of summer solstice and the fourth and last of Virgo season. And tonight the moon is waning in zodiac house 3, Gemini. So release those negative dualities. Allow your shadow to coincide with your spirit so that your shadow self and your spirit self can be on one page. That is a major key to inner mastery. And inner mastery externally leads to keys to higher doors. If you are watching this at the 9 o'clock hour, you got 2 hours and some change to work it out before the clock strikes 12. Issue passes that time clock to Obatala, and we get some Sunday R&R with an extra twist of Osun honey. Let's get to that, so our 6 a.m. listeners aren't talking too much about yesterday. This is 222.9 The Mothership, and you are watching or listening to The Forecast. I painted this one red and black for you. Listen. It's Saturday, Saturn rises, primal desires, the day of the 6. Be careful where and who you mix. Your mastery, your ego may need a fix, as choices form tapestries of a spiritual stagnant or a grown and blown. Try not to let the sun beat you home. Perhaps it's Saturday. The expose. Saturn exposes which keys we chose as pictures of crossroads, maps out guides. Eyes left, guide right. Iwapele, keep it tight, as yesterday's love turns into today's want. Temptations dangle to taunt, the flesh oblivious to haunt, the self prime for carnal indulgence, the big if. The house winds and wears of where our inhibitions take a shift, tricksters blow a kiss, and the wind gives a thick, stiff breeze of 3 resolutions. It's Saturn Day. And iiiYansaje Muse. Free verse, short poem. Ashe. Did you like it here at the crossroad? The jester's intersection.
Then why don't you join me tomorrow for some R&R in the Alabaster Divine? That's www.poeticallymused.org/Alabaster Divine. Great place to spend a Sunday. See you there. Ashe.
And we are back. So it is the Sunsday, September 14th, 2025, and we're in that last stretch of summer solstice before we head into my favorite season, Autumn Equinox. And the day is vibing on a 5, which is the number sacred to Yeye Mio Osun. So we got this Sunday rule, and in many Orisha traditions, Sunday is ruled by the Orisha Obatala. And when you got a honey in tow, you got a real sweet, restful Sunday. So I hope you make the most of that. And this also is a peekaboo pataki reminder that Oshun's original color was white. It is the 12th of summer solstice, the 12th sun's day, the 4th of Virgo season, and the moon tonight, like last night, is waning in the house of Gemini. So purify your dualities so that they can work together. Balance is the name of the game, after all. And we are in the first day of Virgo season's last decan. So if you were born between September 14th and the 21st, you are a Virgo, but you are half Taurus. So you may be a little more nurturing and giving and loving than your other two Virgo decan counterparts. And in the season of the Kemetic way of the stars, we are in the season of mood. In the 12 figures of African spirituality, we are still in the season of the traveler until October 3rd. And if September 14th is your solar return, then happy solar return. May the ancestors, Olodumare, Orishas, and all saints of your respective faith bliss and bless you with many more, filled with Boba Ire. And Boba Ire means many blessings. And if it is September 14th, here's a little bit of zodiac dry snitching. Learn to assert yourself and be more aggressive. You are self reliant and ambitious and very modest. You could achieve much more if you allow yourself to do so. You are musical and literary, and you love with your whole heart. Ashe. All right, other 11 zodiac houses, haterade ain't alkaline. Make sure you are showing all of Virgos in your life some love as they turn up in their season. Because you know good and darn well that when your zodiac season rolls around, you're going to want the same love. So give it in return. And while you are at it, check your placements of House 6, your placements of Virgo and Mercury to learn about how the Virgo energy works in your inner universe. And if you need some help understanding that, then give me a call on the Mothership's Mentorship and Guidance Hotline at 314-200-0368. I'll be right back with your planetary retrograde report. This is 222.9 The Mothership, and you are listening to The Forecast. Rest, restore, reflect, purify, gospel, white, old time religion. Ibashe Obatala, Ibashe Orumila, sermons, humility. Welcome to Sundays on the Mothership. Ashe. And we are back. So we are currently 5 planets into retrograde. We got 1 in Aquarius, 3 having a soul train line in Aries, and 1 in Gemini. Okay, so starting out, we still got Pluto doing her dance, starting on May 4th in Aquarius, coming out on October 14th, still in Aquarius. And what this means is that the last planet is in the house of Aquarius retrograding, really calling us to look at those little things that make all the big differences in terms of building our 5D futuristic character selves. Now, Pluto also rules Scorpio, so you stinger babies are going to feel this a little more than the other 11 houses. And those of us that live that Orisha life, Pluto is connected to Ogun, Oya, and Orumila. How? Because Ogun is the higher octave of Mars. Pluto is the higher octave of Mars, which is the masculine planet of war, initiative, masculine drive, taking action. All of that is Ogun energy. Pluto ends the galaxy we know about, begins the one we don't, and Ye Mio, Iba or Ya is all about those endings and beginnings. And Orumila, he speaks in Pluto's language by calling us to look at our taboos. So, how do we make this useful? Embrace your innermost transformations. Whatever your spirit has been calling you to do to elevate, do it. Meditate more, spend more time in nature, journal, start that diet plan, begin that project. Whatever it is, get on it. Because journeys of 1,000 miles start with the first step, and you want to close old chapters and old patterns and stop relationships that keep you off the high roads. Now, let's get to this soul train line in Aries. First up, we got Neptune busting a moonwalk on the 4th of July. So, Neptune busted the moonwalk on the 4th of July in Aries and will be coming out on December 10th in Pisces. And Pisces rules you fish twin babies. So, Neptune rules you fish twin babies, 1 out of 2. So, you Pisces people are going to feel this one a little more than the other 11 houses because it is the sign of endings and closures for good. Those of us that are connected to Orisha life, Neptune is connected to Olokun and Yamaja energy, as Yamaja is of divine compassion because she's the mother of all, and Neptune is the planet of divine compassion. Also, remember that Yamaja also owns the moons. Iba Oshipa, Ashe. And Neptune is also connected to Olokun through deeper levels of spirituality, deeper levels of meditation, and deeper levels of wealth. Ashe? All right. So, how do we make this useful? We stay grounded in the now so that we don't get distracted from our spiritual paths and our spiritual journeys. We stay grounded so that we don't get delusional. Make sure you pay very close attention to your dreams, as it is the spirit world speaking to you about things to come in your waking life. Embrace confusion from a spiritual standpoint so that you can show the universe you're aiming high. And once you do that, the universe will send you things aligned with your higher vibration. Monitor your strengthening intuition. Ashe. And we call that honoring the Ori. And that's often what leads us to the wealth, not the cookie cutter status quo. Ashe. Second in the Soul Train line in the house of Aries, we still got Saturn doing his retrograde dance on July 13th in Aries, coming out on November 28th in Pisces. And this rules you Aquarius and Capricorn babies. So you bucketheads and sea goat babies are going to feel this one more than the other 10 houses. And Eshu is connected to Saturn as well as Babalu IA. How and why? Well, Saturn is the trickster planet of karma, discipline, spiritual power, and the carnal energy that lives in all of our loins. So, how do we make this useful? First and foremost, put the popcorn away because I know Saturn's retrograde in Aries is bringing back a lot of karmic ass whoopings for people who have been dancing on the wrong side of Eshu's crossroad. Mm-hmm. So put the popcorn up so that you don't become just like them because you know what? You have to let your soul decay to a certain degree if you can laugh at someone else's misfortune, even if they are people who did you wrong. So pay attention to that. Other than that, you want to reflect on your important life lessons, embrace the deeper crossroads, and make sure you keep your spiritual priorities in check over your 3D desires. And allow your ego self to speak so it may integrate in with your spirit, and your ego and your spirit self can get on one page, one accord. And there are many rewards for spiritual mastery, so jump on the self discipline. Your future self will thank you later. Ashe. And completing the trilogy of the Soul Train line going on in Aries retrogrades, we've got Chiron. And Chiron is the comet that evolved into a planet, going into retrograde on July 30th, coming out on January 2nd of 2026. And this planet, my goodness, is the point in all of our natal charts that points to our deepest wounds and our highest levels of healing. So how do we do this? We separate pain as we see our pain as lessons, and we face life as a ram, run into it head on. Stop soaking over your past so that you can turn that pain into power and tackle the walls of your self doubt, all of your spiritual wounds, trauma. All of these things will get called forth during this retrograde, especially after the blood moon, the eclipse, all of these things. We're still in the after effects of that. So make sure that you are finding ways to turn your pain into power so that test becomes testimony. Ashe. All right. And last but not least, we have the planet sacred to Oya, Uranus, which is the other planet that rules Aquarius. So you buckethead babies got both of your planets busting the moonwalk because Uranus just went into retrograde on September 6th in Gemini and will be coming out on February 4th in Taurus. So those of us that are connected to Orisha tradition, Oya is connected to Uranus by being the planet of intuition. Oya deals greatly with the Ori and the third eye. The shakeups, the sudden changes, those are all her signatures of changes that she makes to create room for something better. Ashe? All right. And you may experience some challenges in your divine beliefs with this planetary retrograde being in Gemini, and you'll be called to shed old patterns that are destroying your higher level. But at the end of it all, you play your cards right, you end up on a higher level of spiritual and earthly stability. So there's my retrograde report. And if you need deeper clarity, take a look at all of these planets in your natal chart to get a more personalized perspective. And if you need some help understanding that, give me a call on the Mothership's Mentorship and Guidance Hotline at 314-200-0368. I will be right back with your Sundayly R&R Oracle read. This is Radio for the Cosmos 222.9 The Mothership. Be Love and light to all passengers aboard the Mothership. Sundays in many spiritual denominations is the day of the Sabbath, the day of rest and reflection, the day the Most High His herself rested after 6 days of creation. In general mystics, Sunday is of course the day ruled by the sun, the burning star that charges all. Sundays are also sacred to the Orisha Obatala and many traditions of African spirituality. One of Obatala's favorite Muse is the coconut, so let's crack one open and relax. Join me each and every Sunday for some coconut jazz, 2 hours of smooth jazz tunes to enhance your rest and reflect day from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Only on your Mystic Haven on the airwaves, 222.9 The Mothership. Beam up. And we are back. So if you are watching this from the podcast video or listening over the Mothership airwaves, you are tapped into divine algorithm, and this is your message. So we're just going to do a quick Sundayly R&R here. We're going to do an oracle card and a biblical scripture. I already did the prayer off camera, so let's see what the cards have to say. May everyone take what resonates and leave what does not. Hmm. Somebody needs some quiet time to meditate. And as you can see, there's a silhouette in the card and water. So this may be quiet time to do shadow work and releasing old chapters and cycles, because the card is also showing a sunset. So you may need a quiet time to release things of the past with love. And Obatala gives that Sundayly R&R to do that, while Osun on the daily numerology gives you that extra sweetness to get the job done. Ashe. All right. And you have to let the sun set on what's past, because you have a magical moment headed into your new beginning. And at the bottom of the deck, we have things are looking up. And the energy that I'm getting from this is that we can get comfortable in survival mode when we've been there for a while. But now you need some quiet time to bid farewell to that kind of life, to that kind of energy, so that you can more comfortably manifest this magical moment that is headed in. And the scripture card comes from Psalm 16:11. Thou wilt show me the path of life. And on the other side, 1 Corinthians 15:58, for as much as ye know that your labor in vain is not in vain in the Most High, which means your hard work has not been forgotten. You haven't spent all these years slaving in vain. And sometimes we are manifesting something larger than we can fathom, and that's the real reason the blessing is taking so long. So take this quiet time to rest, reflect, calm your shadows, and give thanks, so that you can be open and ready to receive your magical moment. And with things looking up, you see the shadow taking a leap, and that means you've already taken the leap of faith. And now you're simply waiting for the universe to deliver. But you can't ask God for the chocolate cake with your hand still in the cookie jar. So it is time to release doubt, fear, all these things that can come in quiet time. Make it good. This is my general message. If you need a personal read, then call me tomorrow, because today's Sunday and my Oracle rest. This is 222.9 The Mothership, and you are listening to the forecast. You know what makes me the king of all Orisha? My patience, my humility, my cool head, and my never-ending strive for spiritual purity. Obatala, the Sun Collection, brought to you by the Mothership Mystic Boutiq. All proceeds go to 222.9, the Mothership, Internet radio for the road less traveled. Beam up. Thank you for joining me for this forecast. I certainly hope that you gain some things that will help you have a divinely aligned, Obatala blissful Sunsday, complete with Oshun's honey in tow. If you are listening at the 9 o'clock hour, then stay tuned for my Saturn nightly vision of what love looks like. But listener discretion is advised, because Saturday night does get nasty. It is still in the carnal energy, you know. If you are listening at the 6 a.m. hour, then stay tuned for the rising Bimbe to Obatala before we let the church say amen with classic and contemporary gospel, as well as smooth jazz featuring Frankie Beverly after 4 o'clock. Either way, remember, the sky is big enough for us all to be stars, and in the words of George Clinton, free your mind and your ass will follow. This is 222.9 The Mothership, radio for the cosmos. Be my.
Every day is special. Why not find out mystically how? This is the forecast on your Mystic Music Haven on the airwaves, 222.9, The Mothership. Beam up.